Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Mooka Pua from Debbi Minero. Now, this is extra special today. We had our Tangle Time session. We have had one of them. We'll have another one at the time of this recording. We had one just now. And then one tomorrow morning. I had to change my schedule around. Normally, they're both on Thursday. But I wanted to make sure to do this because this is Debbi's 100th tangle that she has created. And I wanted to make an extra special deal. And so we had a lot of fun with it today on our Tangle Time session. All right, so here's how we do it. In about the center of wherever you want. And Pua is Hawaiian for flower, just by the way. Wherever you want, the center of this is where we shall start. All right. And if you are not familiar with Mooka, this is one that's kind of evolved a bit. This is like a, I have to find the right word because I looked up frond and it's not correct. So I have to do some more searching. Or if you happen to know what would one call this, it seems like I saw one definition that said, it's like a leaf of, but it really means more like a fern that has was a divided leaf or something was what they call a frond. So I do like to be proper, and especially when I found out, I'm like, oh well, I can't use that anymore. So this is a bit of Mooka. Versus it being kind of one bigger tangle. Though it looks like this as I flip that. I'm going to do this really small. So normally, and this is Rick's version with the kind of bulbousy ends. And then you just keep going around, depending on how much room you have, like that. You can also unfurl these. You can have them go to the outside. It's a really, really neat tangle. Do take a look at it. I know I have a video on it. If I remember, I'll try to put a link in the description. But that's Mooka. But so what we're doing is we're just doing, one piece of it or one, end. All right. So starting here, we'll just do one. And like I said, if you've not done it before, it's just a sort of curved line that's going into a spiral. Now this depends on how big you want the bulbous part to be, right? So come around as if you're doing a spiral, and then at some point before you get too far in, like right there, stop and come back like that. And this we're gonna put the ends together, and then we'll do another one over here. And after a while, you get used to doing it. Actually, it kind of looks like a big comma. And then you could do it the other way. Like that. Now, and we'll just do 3 of those. And then we're going to put just an amoeba shape is what I was calling it. And I'm going to start here on this side. And what we're going to do is we're going to hollow bow behind these, wherever it makes sense. But this is just a shape. Like I said, it's not quite an orb, not quite an anything. And as you see, I didn't go over the mookas. I went under. So all you do for that is you pick your pen up, travel it over as if you're drawing. So that way there's some continuity. Although this, because it's kind of it's wiggly, it's not going to matter as much. But you can really tell that it looks like it's one continuous line, and these guys were stuck up on top of it, right? That's our aim for hollow bow. And we're going to aura this, although I was making mine extra wiggly, so I'm not worrying about aura-ing every contour. I'm just kind of making it wiggly as well on the outside. And it's completely up to you however you want to do it. All right. Then on the outside, we're going to make some big C-ish shape curve lines. And so And what I was noticing on Deb's, and it probably depends on whatever one I was looking at, they were kind of squared off a little bit. And this is one of those, it doesn't matter. However it ends up is however it ends up, and it's all good. So just going around, trying not to think about it too much. Ooh, we got one little one in here, like that. And that's it. Well, not it for the tangle, but that's it for that step. And like I said, try not to think about it too much. Really neat things come out of this. All right, then going back to the center, we're going to put some little fescues, and all that is, and I'm going to come here. And this one we will be going over because there's not really a way to hollowbow when you're doing a well, no, we could put it under here because we could make the gap, but it's going to go over. So we don't worry for this one. We're not worrying about anything, and it's just kind of a straight-ish. It doesn't matter, curve line like that with a little ball on the end, however you want them to be. I think I'm might have one, although I could add one later if I want to have one come down here. I could. All right. When actually on my Mookas, I do like to put a little swoosh mark. That's what I call it. Like that. It just adds, it's almost like a shine, sort of, or it adds to what could be the plumpness of it. Okay, next, we're going to fill in this section, but be careful. Now, of course, we're going to fill in over, that. And let me get my graphic one out here. Except for in between the Mookas, we want to be careful. I'm going to get that with, oh no, I have enough room. Okay. Sometimes it's just safer to use the 01 close to other things. Yeah, and the little fescues, it's not going to matter. And because we're filling in, if for some reason you need to reshape anything, on that, from that first amoeba shape, of course you can, because we're filling in. And I think what's neat is, like I said, being careful, of the space, although mine got a little bit narrow, but it's okay. But it looks like it's growing out of that, and that's what we want. Okay. Let's see what is next. If you would like to add a stem, although I want to put it on this side, but there's more room on this side. It's silly that I want to put it on that side. So let's just put it where it looks like it should go. And this kind of a curve line to start, like that. And then this could be, you can make it as wide as you want or as narrow as you want. I'm gonna put it right here because there's just something neat about having it curved up at the top like that. All right, and then for some decorating thoughts, one of the things, if you take a look at the For More Inspiration link, you'll see that one of the things that Deb did was in these, in the outer edge here, just a couple wispy lines. If you have more room and you want to put 3, go for it. If you add a little curve to them, it just adds some character and some shape to it. And then too, I noticed that on some, or on the sample, one of the samples I looked at, she brought these little valleys down, and I thought that was neat. So you could do it with a wispy line also. I did that, but then I decided to thicken the top just a little bit. It's almost like if you continued this side out and then this side into one line and then fill in that center, like that, just as a thought. You don't have to, because I think she had some on there that she didn't do that at all. But I think it just adds something to it. And what's so fun is we just get to play however we wish to play. And I think I'm going to leave the outer. You could thicken the edges of these as well if you wanted to. But I think I'm going to leave those ones as they are. All right, now for some shading ideas. First off, I'm going to put some on the outside. Well, the inside of, we'll call them petals, but on this outer perimeter. All right. Oh, there it is. And you can see, well, if I get a nice gradient going, and you see how it makes it curve a little bit. I do try to put the pencil on, the graphite on, with a light touch, so that way I can work to avoid. See, I see that line there. You can see the pencil line, and that makes me crazy. So I try to remember to just be light with it, so I don't have that. You can always go back and add more, right? Okay, so that's neat. And then I think too, so I'm going to bring it down, carrying that down on one side. Yeah, look at the difference that makes. Let's go this direction too. Just, picking one side and sticking to it. That just gives it some interesting, neat shape. Now, I want to also, I'm going to leave that the way it is, but I'm going to put some graphite around the outside, being very careful to not get it on the mookas. And you know what, I'm going to move this right now. So I just want to have some gradient. I kind of want to keep the darkness right nearby that line, so I don't want to move it too much. So I'm just being very careful and trying to just get the tip in there. So right here where I'm working around the mookas, I just want to, like I said, spread it out a little bit so it has some gradient and is a little smoother. But like I said, I want to stay away from it at the same time. There we go. Oops. Yeah, like that. And that just gave that center part, it sunk it down a little bit more. And then you can also, we can add a little bit. I'm just going to go over my little swoosh mark. Yeah, adds a little something. Although, well, okay, let me think about it and ponder on it. Because it just occurred to me, these mookas are over the top of that, aren't they? So you know what that should mean? It should mean, and I'm going to do it. Let's see what happens. Because I like to just try things that I just think about, here while I'm recording. I'm just going to do it to all of them because I know. So, kind of Heather's rules for shading. They're not really my rules. Well, they are for me. Where, something is over something else, we like to emphasize that. And the only real way to emphasize it, I mean, I could have left it, but if you think it might have a shadow, we could just put it in there. Now, normally we don't worry about like light source and stuff like that. What we do with our shading is, the dark recesses and the light brings it up. And here we're just working with graphite. So the layer, the amount of gray that one might put in could determine how far down it goes. But look at that. I love it. I need to do it to my other one that I have here that I'm going to show you, because I just thought about it now. Because those would cast, if they're in front, then there's going to be some darkness behind. And why not? And it worked fine without it, though, too, didn't it? So it's definitely an up to you. I'm doing this on my other one that I'm going to show you here for my Tangle Time session. Oh, but wait, there's more. I see Maria do this. I'm going to do it. I was going to do it on my other one, but see, she will sometimes put a little V. And maybe it's if she carries it down just a little, on the stem like that. Sometimes it's at the bottom. I think it looks neat. Now, I do have enough room here. And we're just going to add graphite. Let's just add it to the one side. Yeah, and that creates some dimension. I'm going to come over here just a little bit and try to stay away from that. The ink that I just put on there, I went a little extra heavy because this is going to be behind here also. And there we go. Neat. All right, so this is what I did on our session today. I was using a prepped tile, and I just put the graphite around here, so I'm going to spread that out on these Mookas. Oh, actually, technically, it would go on those sides of those things too, because that is behind. There we go. Yeah, so this is a prepped tile using Lindy's Magicals. And if you are interested in Lindy's Magicals, if you go into the description section and under the links to the step outs, you will find my link tree. Oh, see, that just made them pop even more. And there is a link to Lindy's Magicals where you get a little discount if you use my code. I get a little something. I have I think the only other link I have in there is for Dick Blick. And, it helps me out if you shop through those links. And I greatly appreciate it. It helps to support the things that I do. But yeah, so like I said, we had a lot of fun. I used white charcoal around the outside. Just a lot of fun. And it's fun on a prep tile because, because you just like a toned tile, then you can have extra fun using the white charcoal and stuff. So if you would ever like to join on such fun, you can. It's free. It's called Tangle Time. That's the sessions. Normally on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. This week, though, I had the PM session on Wednesday, and the AM session will stay the same on Thursday. And it's a lot of fun. So come and join us. This is an hour. We take a tangle, maybe two. This one I did share a second one, so if people wanted to partake, it was a nice border tangle. The sample that I have on there, I believe, we'll have that as the border, and that we will be sharing, I think, tomorrow. So just a lot of fun. So like I said, if you want to come and join us, it's extra fun because you do whatever strikes you with the tangle. The only thing that is designated is this is the tangle that we're doing. However you want to do it, you do you, and it's all good. And then we have a lot of fun seeing what everybody did afterwards. So like I said, information is is on my website as well as Facebook page. There are a couple other links on the link tree where I post classes. So, if you happen to be on either of those platforms, do take a look. Also, if you are on Facebook, I want to highlight, we have an amazing group of tanglers that gather for a lot of the sessions, but then also are on our Facebook group, and we just have a lot of fun. So if you are on Facebook and want to join us, the link is there. There are 4 questions you have to answer in order to gain entry, just so you know. And that's that. So, and I forgot to mention, if you've enjoyed this, please click on the like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you liked it enough to see more. Feel free to share it out, all that kind of stuff. Leave comments, all of that good stuff. My understanding is that all of it helps the algorithm. So I appreciate any and all of those activities that you might do to, gets the word out about me, the fun that we have, and Zentangle in general. This needs a little bit of a blur, doesn't it? That's what I was thinking. So, all right. What else do I want to mention to you? The description section, links to the step outs. I mentioned the link tree. That's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.